is for celebration, but this year His Royal Highness has asked that it is a more subdued celebration, more reflective, rather. What does this mean, and what do you think His Royal Highness the Kninupe is trying to signal, and what is the significance of this sort of celebration for the Kninupe people?
Good morning, Nigeria. Kninupe Day is always a great day for the Knipes. In African history, the contribution of the Knipes is tremendously recognized in the history of Black race. This is as a result of the dedication, commitment, resilience, braveness, visionary leadership of our great founding, wherever they are, due to that attitude of never give up. However, today is not just celebrated for that, but the lessons we drew from it for us to be able to build ourselves and build the capacity of even the future generation. Kninupe Day is celebrated annually. For the Knipes to come together, to interact, to network, to collaborate, pool resources, knowledge, and skills together with shared vision and collective action, such that we lead to the transformation of the Kninupe land and the country in general. Knipes doesn't just come out today to exhibit or showcase their culture, but also their economic potential. And because of that, geographically, Kninupe land is located along the Niger Basin and its tributaries, commonly found in North Central geopolitical zone, who occupy large proportion of the lowlands of the Niger Basin and the tributaries, which is in addition subjected to seasonal floods, which serve as the pull factor that attracted the Knipes to this vital ecosystem and its resources. And this provided the geographical advantage for that attracted the population to this region, which is the water, signaled by the color of cultural flag as the blue, the green as the agriculture, and the red for our adventure, resilience, and that spirit of never give up. Economically, these geographical conditions give us the ability for high productivity and income generation. And because of that, the Kninupe always encourage us through the foundation of Kninupe, that is Kninupe Foundation, to come together annually, not only to showcase our culture, but our economic potentials. The abundant agromorphic soil across the Kninupe land, as stated earlier, produce large proportion of rice consumed in Nigeria. This, with government intervention and secured markets, Kninupe Kingdom can feed the whole of Nigeria and export rice to elsewhere. Also, we have abundant mineral resources, ranging from gold to lithium, and most importantly, oil and gas across the desert basin awaiting exploration. These are days we usually attract investors to our potential resources, such that will lead to the exploration. The Barrow port has been there since colonial days, but recently commissioned, and after 5 years, is still at the stage it is, or more than 5 years, without functioning. We are looking forward to full dredging and utilization of this Barrow port. Not only withstanding, with all this, the Kninupe Day is not just celebrated to showcase culture, but it's also a day where Knipes all over the world, wherever you find yourself, Niger, Kogi, FCT, or even in diaspora, come together as sons and daughters of Nupe land, to learn from each other, to interact, to network, and identify strategies to move the kingdom forward. Ably supported by our grand patron, which is His Royal Highness, the Etu, supported with all the patrons, which are all the Etus across the Nupe land that are ever ready to give us the capacity, to give us the strength, to give us the ability to distinguish ourselves. That culture that we are.
I'm sorry I'm having to interject. I asked, yes, in spite of all of this, I mean, the gentlemen in the studio have talked a lot about the prowess and the achievements of the Nupe people. I was asking, in spite of all of this, why did His Royal Highness, the Etu Nupe, say it should be a subdued celebration?
Okay.
What does this mean for Nupe people?
Evidence of flood disaster that occurred in Mokwa. Although to us, flood is a resource, but that turned to a disaster, which is mainly as a result of human activities. And because of that, so many lives were lost, goods and livelihood are lost. We are all human. So because of that, His Royal Highness deemed it fit that, yes, during this celebration, we observe prayers for the nation, for Nupe Kingdom, for the affected community, and identify ways to move the Nupe community forward. Not that the ability is not there, but because of the humanity in us and the zeal in us as the Nupe people. One part of the body is affected, the entire part is also affected. And because of that disaster at Mokwa, the Nupes today are not in celebration mode, but we are still giving appreciation to the Almighty Allah for sparing our life and for making us overcome that incident. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Aishitu, for your comments, opening comments there. Quite interesting indeed. The whole of Nigeria is with the people of Mokwa, and we're also sympathizing with them. This is the 17th edition of the Nupe Day that is being celebrated, and I'm sure it's being celebrated internationally too, across the globe, anywhere a Nupe person is. Because I have a Facebook friend, Kere Ahmed's daughter, she's in London, and every time it's Nupe Day, she dresses up and then, she puts all the pictures out there, celebrating. Even in London, she's celebrating. So how does this celebration, the Nupe Day, help preserve indigenous languages, music, festival, and dressings? Because we've seen a lot of cultures just disappear. Out of the blue, you can't seem to find them. And the young people coming up don't even know anything about their culture. So how are you preserving this culture to teach to the generation and generation after you?
Yeah, thank you very much. We are preserving the culture through so many symbols that we have created, intentionally. Like the barrister has said, the what this symbolizes, that is the muffler I have here, the colors, it's a way of preserving our culture. So that you are an industrious person, a warrior, you are somebody who is good as a farmer, a very good farmer, a very good fisherman. So you are not a lazy person. That's what we are saying to generations yet unborn. Another thing that we have done is also we've introduced what we call Nupe Cultural Anthem, to sensitize Nupes, to awaken that spirit of never give up, and to also make us, understand that we have a duty, to not only our tribe, but also to the international community. So there is a cultural anthem that is sung anytime we come together as Nupes. We also have the Nupe Foundation, which is an organization. It's an international organization. Many Nupe people belong to that organization, where we discuss how do we move this very, very great, the essence of humanity called Nupe forward. And we have also the cultural center, where we preserve, those relics, the antiques and things like that, they are kept in that, like a museum, I'll put our people, So there are so many things that, in the Nupe Day, which is supposed to be the celebration, where we dance, you see the best of our culture, the finest of it being displayed, And then this year too, I think on the 28th of this month, Kninupe is organizing a colloquium where experts in agriculture will come together. It's going to take place at Ladi Kwali, that is the Intercontinental, hotel, the Sheraton, former Sheraton, where gurus in agriculture, will come to brainstorm on how do we move agriculture forward, which is very important. How do we impact, not only our people, but internationally. And you can also see what our amiable, very, very dynamic governor is doing. He's a Nupe man, and when he came up, he said he's a farmer governor because he's from a farming, tribe, farming, area of the state, of the country. So, and you can see how he has uplifted the farming trade, as an industry, beyond this, imagination of everybody. Even the president acknowledges this. The entire world, not only Nigeria, because he has managed to bring the world to Niger State as far as farming is concerned. So you can see how industrious we are, how very, very dynamic we are when it comes to, delivering on any assignment given to any person. So how are we preserving? That's why we created these symbols, to ensure that these things will live long after most of us are no longer here. People will now, like Kninupe Day, by the grace of God, has come to stay. This has come to stay. Kninupe Cultural Anthem has come to stay. The Cultural Center, where we put our relics, has come to stay. These things were not there before until when the current emir, came on board. Then
he introduced
all these things. So that's how we are preserving the Kninupe culture.
Thank you, Alhaji Yabagi. Let me get back to Alhaji Dagachi. I know that every year the Kninupe Day has a theme. What's the theme for this year? And is it in sync with the reflective mood that the Etu Kninupe had directed?
Well, I had a grassroots-based organization, Community Association for Grassroots Transformation. And our central agenda is unity and development, starting from Kninupe land, in the spirit of charity begins at home. Then we think of the nation. You can't build unity without a consensus among the people to move in the same direction. So what we do, we organize town hall meetings, village assemblies, intended to share knowledge, wisdom, experience with the younger generation. That is very important. Important because one generation, a particular generation, does not live forever, no matter how it wishes to. Someday it will be gone, I will be gone forever. So the pertinent question is, what is the outgoing generation doing, in terms of succession, to arm the incoming generation, the younger generation? And that is where sustainable development comes in. If you are living your life, you don't destroy the society to make it inevitable for the incoming one. Very important. So the theme is unity and development of Kninupe land, first and foremost, in the spirit of charity begins at home. That is the theme.
In the spirit of charity begins at home. So what role can the Kninupe youth play in nation building and, of course, entrepreneurship?
And entrepreneurship, and our youth are knowledgeable, vibrant, and they are already adding to the development of the nation. They are well educated, and they are everywhere. And like I said, they've already borrowed that leaf from their ancestors. They are industrious too, and highly business conscious.
So let's bring Mr. Abdul Alim into this conversation now. What does the Kninupe example teach us about peaceful coexistence in a multi-ethnic background like we have in Niger State, Kogi State, Benue State, and all interconnected.
Thank you very much. I want to add a little to what our daddy here said on the way we are preserving our culture. You know, I'm younger here, so I'm closer to the youth. We encourage the speaking of Kninupe language wherever we find ourselves, starting from the home. Even if you find yourself in US or UK, any part of the world, speak Kninupe language to your children, because that's our cultural identity. There is no other way to do it. Every child grows up to learn, to go to school, speak other languages, but if you fail as a parent to speak your language to your own children, they may lose the opportunity to continue the heritage. So that's one. Our youth are very vibrant when it comes to music. We don't only speak, we sing in Kninupe language, we do videos in Kninupe language, and we have a lot of stars now that we can proudly invite to any event. In fact, we have had calls to bring Kninupe group to a national event at Eagle Square, and we can take them to any part of the world to promote our culture. So in that area, the younger generation are thumbs up, and we'll continue to encourage that. More encouragement should come from especially our elite, so that they don't give up. Everybody is proudly Kninupe. And to that extent, we want to say kudos to all our artists who are, taking us to the global stage, in the social media and even in the mainstream media. So to come back to your question, if I understand what you're saying, the impact, you're asking about the social impact.
How can other communities learn from the peaceful coexistence?
Peaceful coexistence.
Well,
that has to, it can take three dimensions. One, our leadership, starting from the traditional institution. There is no discussion or conversation about our heritage that will not start from the traditional institution, because the leadership of a Kninupe is exemplary. He's not a sit-at-home traditional ruler. He's very knowledgeable about politics at the global level, politics at the national level, and politics at the state level, such that wherever there are opportunities, he's worried about the kind of contribution that our people can make. And we don't miss such opportunities. So if your traditional institution is sound, thoroughly exposed, and in touch with the realities of the day, it should be easy to get people to listen to you. Because nobody disobeys. By our upbringing, we are trained to respect elders and not to renege or disobey lawful instruction. So our people are very, very much at home with the traditional institution. And once you have that, you now move to the political elite. Like our elders will say, the strength of a bird depends on that of the branch of the tree where it is perching. So we are looking up to our political leaders, and the examples are many. We just proudly spoke about the governor of Niger State. Hopefully, we'll soon have governors all over 4 states, including the FCT. A minister for FCT, if it's a Kninupe man, you see the examples will be given. If you inherit a culture of farming and you do not take advantage of it, for me, that's more like being irresponsible.
All right. Thank you very much. Let me get back to Professor Aishatu Abdul Kadri. Now, I just wondering, apart from the quest for a state of your own as Kninupe people, what else are the aspirations of the Kninupe people that a day like this can help to advance?
Thank you very much, sir. The Kninupe people generally are known for their skills in agriculture, fishing, and metalwork. Days like this, when it comes, we look forward to improve on our skills. we look forward to creativity. We look forward for us to be industrious. We look forward for us to move from the traditional method to the modern method. During our father's term, rice is cultivated once per annum. Today, rice is cultivated 2 to 3 times per annum in Kninupe Kingdom. And this enhances their economic capacity. It enables them to meet their own needs, enable them to put food on their own table and have shelter over their head. So to us, when we meet this day, is how can we build on what we have been doing? How do we move forward? How do we engage our youth? How do we create or strengthen that unity that pre-exists between the Knipes? And as well, how do we cultivate such attitude that the Knipes are known for from our founding fathers? And this is always the priority whenever we meet, is for us to identify strategies, ways to enhance the existing population and move the Kninupe Kingdom forward. When we do that, by implication, we'll be eradicating rural poverty and limiting rural-urban migration, as well enhancing livelihood of our teeming youth and making them to be self-reliant, other than being a dependence on other people or other regions. We always look at the potentials of the Kninupe land and how to exploit it for the benefit of the Knipes and the country at large.
Sorry, just a moment, Juma. I'd like to stay with you. What's the place of a woman in all of this for Kninupe people? How are Kninupe women also reserved? I don't want to use a certain language on TV.
From history, you look at that Kninupe women are always vibrant, hardworking, dedicated, and committed, and key into those virtues, those attitudes that the Knipes are generally known for. Starting from people like Gambo Sawaba, who was a daughter of a Kninupe woman, Fatima from Kutigi. We have people like ministers of Zainab Kuchi, Nololo, among others. Have Zainab Puri, who was one-time senator, despite being a female. I also believe I'm a female, and females in Kninupe are doing well in terms of art, craft, industrials, entrepreneur, and whatever aspect you can think of. And when it comes to the mothers, they are always mothers with a difference, a mother to the core that can sacrifice whatever they have for the livelihood or for the benefit of their children. Not only that, even to the family. You will see that a Kninupe woman can do whatever it takes to meet the demand of the family and that of the community and the nation at large. So in Kninupe Kingdom, women are not always left behind. They are always there to contribute their own quota to the development and peaceful coexistence of the Kninupe nation and the country at large.
Thank you so much, Prof. I like when we talk about women, and I've seen Kninupe women who have been very impactful, business conscious, and they are nurturers at home, but out